Welcome back to the channel, friends. Today we're looking at The Call, one of the most mind-bending Korean mystery thrillers out there. In this film, time itself is a character. One phone connects two different worlds, starting as a source of comfort before spiraling into chaos. It shows us how a single conversation can reshape a life, heal old wounds, or unleash an unexpected nightmare. Let's begin. The story begins in 2019 with a young woman named Seo-yeon. She returns to her abandoned childhood home, a cold and lonely place filled with painful memories. Her mother is currently in the hospital battling a brain tumor, and their relationship is deeply strained. On her way to her childhood house, Seo-yeon loses her cell phone. With no way to contact anyone, she searches the house to find an old cordless landline phone. She plugs it in just to have a working phone. Suddenly, the phone rings. The voice on the phone sounds terrified. "Sun-hee, please help me. My mother's trying to kill me." Seo-yeon thinks it is just a wrong number and hangs up. But the calls keep coming at different times. Over and over, the girl begs for help. One day, she calls again and asks, "Why didn't you come help me? You know my address, right?" When the girl says her address, Seo-yeon is shocked. It is the exact same address where Seo-yeon is living right now. Driven by curiosity, Seo-yeon starts exploring the house and finds a strange wall in the house and breaks it open, finding a hidden basement. Inside, she discovers an old diary and a photograph belonging to a girl named Young-sook. The date on the photo reads 1999. Seo-yeon tries to tell the girl on the phone the unbelievable truth. Seo-yeon says, "We are both in the same house, but you are calling me from the year 1999 and I am living in the year 2019. At first, Young-sook thinks it's a sick joke. Seo-yeon explains that she found Young-sook's old diary in the basement and asks if she wrote the line, "A new life was born and the parents began to oppress again." Surprised, Young-sook suspects she is being watched. To prove she is telling the truth, Seo-yeon checks the internet and tells Young-sook that an airplane crash will happen later that night. When the plane crashes exactly as predicted, Young-sook is forced to believe her. Together, they realize the terrifying truth. This landline isn't just a phone, it's a bridge across 20 years. As the days pass, the two lonely girls become close friends. They share their darkest secrets. Young-sook shares that her biological mother died, and her stepmother is a cruel shaman who locks her up and tortures her. And Seo-yeon shares her deepest trauma as well. When she was a child, her father died in a horrific house fire because her mother forgot to turn off the gas stove. Young-sook abruptly hangs up the phone as her stepmother approaches. After that, the movie shifts back to 1999, where young Seo-yeon and her parents arrive at Young-sook's house. Because Young-sook's stepmother has put the property up for sale, they are visiting to look over, allowing Young-sook to meet the young Seo-yeon in person. Later, Young-sook calls Seo-yeon again and asks for the exact date of her father's death, because she got an idea and thought she might be able to change history since she is living in 1999. She goes to the house on the day of the fire, sneaks into the kitchen, and turns off the gas burner just before the tragedy can happen. Instantly, back in 2019, Seo-yeon's reality completely rewrites itself before her eyes. The severe burn scars on her legs completely vanish. The dilapidated house transforms into a warm, luxurious mansion. Most importantly, her father is alive and standing right in front of her. For Seo-yeon, it feels like a miracle. Overjoyed, she spends all her time with her parents because she has never got to do before. But in doing so, she unintentionally stops answering Young-sook's phone calls. Back in 1999, Young-sook feels abandoned and resentful. She has never known love, and her stepmother's ritualistic abuse is getting worse. When they finally talk, Young-sook's personality changes completely. She becomes angry, demanding, and calls Seo-yeon ungrateful after everything she did for her. Feeling guilty for ignoring her friend, Seo-yeon decides to search the internet to see what happened to Young-sook in the past. But when the results pop up, her heart drops. She finds an old newspaper archive with a horrifying headline, "Shaman Mother Kills Stepdaughter in the Exorcism to Cure the Mental Illness." She waits for Young-sook call, and as soon as she called her, she warns that she will be killed by her mother tonight. Armed with knowledge from the future, Young-sook decides to test if the warning is true. She hides behind the door. A few moments later, her stepmother walks in and brutally stabs the pillows multiple times. Young-sook is heartbroken and deeply hurt. She steps out and asks, "Why do you want to kill me?" Her stepmother looks at her and replies, "Because I have seen your future. There will be many murders by your hand." Realizing her stepmother really wants her dead, Young-sook fights back. Instead of dying in the exorcism, she brutally murders her stepmother instead. Free from her abuser, Young-sook's true nature is finally unleashed. She is a dangerous, unhinged psychopath. A few days later, a local strawberry farmer named Sung-ho visits the house. He accidentally opens the refrigerator and finds the chopped-up remains of the stepmother. Before he can run, Young-sook kills him too. Instantly, in 2019, the strawberry farmer vanishes from existence, and his thriving farm turns into a barren wasteland. Because Sung-ho was a close family friend, Seo-yeon is heartbroken and furious when she realizes Young-sook murdered him. Seo-yeon checks the internet again and uncovers a horrible truth. She did not save an innocent girl, she created a serial killer. The new articles now say that Young-sook will be caught and sentenced to life in prison. During a heated phone argument, a furious Seo-yeon lets Young-sook know that she will be caught and spend the rest of her life behind bars. Hearing this, a panicked Young-sook demands to know exactly how the police find out about her crimes. However, Seo-yeon refuses to help her and hangs up the phone. Young-sook loses her mind as Seo-yeon refuses to help her. Just then, in 1999, young Seo-yeon and her father visited the house to ask for Young-sook's mother, who had been unreachable. It was perfect timing, giving Young-sook the ultimate advantage. To force the future Seo-yeon to talk, she executed a cruel plan. She welcomed them inside and brutally murdered Seo-yeon's father. In 2019, Seo-yeon watches in horror as her father literally turns to dust and vanishes from her life. Her beautiful house turns back into a dark ruin. Young-sook holds the young Seo-yeon hostage over the phone line. "You have exactly 1 hour to look up the police records and tell me how I get arrested, or I will kill your younger self." Desperate for revenge and to end all this chaos, Seo-yeon finds a news report about a greenhouse explosion that happened in 1999. She lies to Young-sook, giving her fake directions that send her straight to the greenhouse right before the blast. But the plan fails. The phone rings again, and adult Seo-yeon hears her younger self screaming. Young-sook survived the explosion, and she is furious. She pours boiling water onto young Seo-yeon's arm as punishment, causing massive burn scars to instantly erupt on adult Seo-yeon's body in the present day. Amidst the torment, Young-sook revealed a devastating truth. The original house fire was never the mother's fault. It was young Seo-yeon who had turned the stove back on after her mother switched it off, and asks her, "Since you hate your mother, should I kill her for you?" Seo-yeon has no choice left. In order to save her mother and herself, she breaks into a local police station to steal the 1999 evidence logs. She reads the details to Young-sook, who uses the information to destroy the murder weapon before the police can find it. History changes again. Young-sook is never caught, and she lives freely into the future. In a climactic final sequence, the timelines collide. In 1999, Seo-yeon's mother arrives at the house with a police officer, looking for her missing husband and daughter. Young-sook ambushes them, murdering the cop and chasing the mother up the stairs. Adult Seo-yeon uses the phone line to guide her mother through the house in real time, telling her how to fight back. A fight breaks out between Seo-yeon's mother and the Young-sook in 1999. At the exact same time, another fight breaks out in 2019 between adult Seo-yeon and the current older Young-sook. This means that in both timelines, Seo-yeon is fighting Young-sook at the exact same moment. In a final desperate struggle to save her little girl, the mother tackles the 1999 Young-sook, and both of them plunge over the second-floor balcony. In 2019, the dark house transforms back into a peaceful state. Adult Seo-yeon rushes to the graveyard, expecting the worst, but finds her mother approaching towards her. Alive, but bearing the physical scars of that fateful fight, crying tears of relief, and walk away together. The film cuts to the mid-credits. We see that the older, future version of Young-sook, who was never caught, managed to call her past self right before the final police ambush. She warned her past self exactly when the mother and cop would arrive. Because of this warning from the future, past Young-sook was prepared. She didn't die from the balcony fall. She woke up, survived, and ultimately murdered Seo-yeon's mother. As adult Seo-yeon walks away from the graveyard, her mother vanishes into thin air. The film ends with a terrifying twist. Adult Seo-yeon wakes up in the pitch-black basement of the house. She is tied to a chair, stripped of her freedom, and entirely at the mercy of an older, monstrous Young-sook who has won the game of time. The past didn't just interfere with the future, it completely consumed it. And that is The Call, a story about fate, choices, and the terrifying beauty of cause and effect. A single phone, two timelines, and a chain of decisions that reshape everything. If you enjoyed this storytelling breakdown, make sure to like the video, leave your thoughts below, and subscribe for more deep cinematic explanations.